Welcome to this Flexbox course. In this video series, we are going to learn everything about CSS Flexbox step by step. So stop wasting time with float, table and messy margin just to align things. Okay, today I'll teach you CSS Flexbox, the modern way to build responsive layout. Before a Flexbox, we had to use float, table, and sticky hack to create layout. Flexbox makes things much easier. So we will cover every single Flexbox property. Yes, all of them. All along the way, we will build mini layout like a navbar, card grid, and sticky footer. By the end, you will be Flexbox master. So let's begin. So I have already opened my VS Code editor. We will write all HTML CSS code in VS Code editor. So this is my folder Flexbox. So let's create index.html file first. So I will show you line by line code along with some demo. So I can show you HTML CSS code with demo. Index.html. Let's create CSS file style.css. Okay, HTML5. So this is our basic HTML structure. Div class container, and we will create three child boxes. So div class box, just name it first, second, and third. So this is our basic setup with container and some boxes. Okay, so I will write CSS and show you how Flexbox works. Okay, so let's open CSS file. Sorry, let's link CSS first. So we will link style.css inside head tag. Okay, so link relation. We have link our CSS style.css. Now let's play with code. So in CSS, first we will write our container class container, and second is box. Okay, so this is a container and these are boxes. We will write CSS property like display flags to the container, display flags, and let's add background color. We can add any light color. Let's add, so this is a light gray color, and some padding 100 pixel maybe. Yeah, okay, so for box background color, let's add in this one, the color should be white. Font size 20 pixel, text line center. So let me show you in browser, so how it's showing. Let's refresh browser. Flexbox, so this is our Flexbox. So first, second, third. I think box class is not working. Maybe box. Let's add padding. Let's add padding 20 pixel. So this is default layout by just adding display flags to the container. Okay. So now I will show you one by one all CSS property of CSS Flexbox. Okay. So now we are going to learn one of the most important property of CSS Flexbox called Flexbox direction. This property control direction of the flex item inside a flex container. So let's see it in action with some example. Okay. So by default flex direction is set to row. This means item are placed from left to right in a horizontal line. Okay, like see, so this is showing from left to right in a horizontal line. Okay, by default flag direction is set to row. That means items are placed from left to right in a horizontal line. So this is a default. Okay, next I will write flex direction row reverse. Okay, flex direction row reverse. So if we change it to row reverse, the items still say in a row, but the order flip. Now it's go from right to left. Okay, now another property is flex direction column. Next, if we set it to column, then item are stacked vertically from top to bottom. Okay, so let's comment it out and write here flex direction column. See, the item are stacked vertically from top to bottom. Okay, now another property is column reverse. Let's comment it out first and flex direction column reverse. Column reverse stack item vertically but in the opposite direction. Okay, from bottom to top. So let me show you in browser. See, first is showing third, then second, then first. Okay, so that's how flex direction work in CSS Flexbox. This property is super useful when designing layout that need to adapt to different screen sizes and orientation. Okay, now we will explore another Flexbox property called flex flow. Instead of writing direction plus ref separately, we can use flex flow shorthand. Okay, for example, let me show you. So it's showing like it's again back to the default left to right, and let's write here shorthand property flex flow. Flex flow. Okay, flex flow first a row and then second drag. First one is showing flex direction, and second wrap is flex wrap. For example, let me show you how it works. So there is no changes. Let me add more boxes here, then you can see the difference. So I have added 6 boxes. Now let me show you how it works. We have row, let's add a column. See, it's showing in column. Just add a column reverse. It will show in reverse. Add here row reverse, and it will show row reverse. Okay, so this is a shorthand. Writing these CSS properties. Okay, flexbox properties. And for wrap, let me add here width, fixed width. Then you will see the use of wrap. Okay, so just add here 400 width. So this is a wrap. So this is happening just because of wrap. So now we will explore another Flexbox property called flex wrap. Okay, by default flex wrap is set to no wrap. Okay, that means all items try to fit into one single line even if they overflow outside the container. So this is our container and this is an element. So let me add more element to show you how it works. Okay, so just copy paste these elements, child elements. See, as I told you, flex wrap is set to no wrap. Okay, by default, flex wrap is set to no wrap. So that means all items try to fit into one single line, even if they overflow outside the container. So that's how it's working. So here we have another property called flex wrap. Okay, so we will use flex wrap to fix this issue. Okay. So if item didn't fit, we can wrap them into next line using flex wrap property. Okay, so let's use. So we will let's open editor here, add flex wrap. So no wrap is a by default, so there is no effect. Okay, so if I add here flex wrap, then item automatically move to next line. So if we change it to wrap, then item will move to the next line. So by default flex wrap show no wrap. Okay, so this is how it's showing. Okay, so there is also wrap reverse. It behave like wrap, but item wrap in the opposite direction. Instead of starting from top, they wrap from bottom upward. Okay, so for example, let's add here wrap reverse. Okay, see how it's showing. Actually, let me change a numbering to the boxes so it will be more clear to you. Okay, now we have 30 boxes, okay, inside container, so it will be more clear to you. Flex wrap reverse. Okay, see how it's showing. Okay, so this is how flex wrap works. So wrap item move to the new line when needed. Row reverse item wrap, but in the opposite direction. Okay, now we have another property called justify content. Okay, so this property helps us to control how flex items are positioned along the main axis. So let's go step by step with example. So let's add here justify content flex start. Okay, so by default justify content is set to flex start. That means all items stick to the left side of the container. So let me show you in browser. So see. Okay, so next is flex end. Okay, so if we change it to flex end, then item shift to the right side. Okay, flex end, item shift to the right side. Okay, now center. So now if we use center, the item will be grouped together in the middle. Okay, center, see it's center. Now space between, with the space between, the first item stick to the left edge and the last item stick to the right edge, and equal space is distributed between the items. Okay, so let me show you how it works. Justify content space between. See, okay, now another property is space around. Space around. So space around give equal space around each item. Okay, that means there half space at the edge and full space between items. Let me show you in the browser. See, this is how it's work. Okay, space around. Now space evenly, and finally space evenly distribute equal space between all item including left and right edge. Everything looks perfectly balanced. Okay, so let me add here space evenly. See changes. So this is the use of space evenly. So this property is great for horizontal alignment when using Flexbox in a row direction. Okay. Now we will explore another Flexbox property called align items. Okay. So by default align item is set to stretch. Okay. That means the flex items automatically stretch to the fill the container height unless they have fixed. So this is a demo. Now let's fix height of container. Height container. Now see, it's automatically stretch. Okay. So this is the use of uh, align item stretch property. Okay. If we fix the height of container, then boxes height, meaning elements height automatically stretch. Okay, according to height of parent div container. Okay, so let's remove stretch. Next is flex start. If we set to flex start the item align at the top of the container. So let me show you flex start. So see it's showing on top of the container. Okay, now flex end. So flex end. So with flex end item move to the bottom of the container. Okay, so see it's moved to bottom of the container. So this is our container and this is a container elements. Okay, now if we use center the item will be vertically aligned right in the middle of the container, meaning line item center. Vertically center, it's vertically center. It's very tough to make any elements in vertically center using pure CSS. Okay, so Flexbox is great to use to fix this issue. Okay, finally we have baseline. Align the items according to the text baseline inside each box. Okay, this is especially useful when your item have different font sizes. Okay, let me show you first how it's showing. Okay, so here baseline. Okay, it's showing no changes. Okay, so I'm talking about fonts. Okay, so these fonts 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so let me change font size, then it will be more clear to you. So let's change here dot box nth child, meaning second child, font size 100 pixel. Okay, let's remove this. See how it's showing. Okay, now when we will add align items baseline, then it's aligned to the base of each element of the text. Okay, so you can see the difference of line items baseline CSS property. Okay, so this is the use of baseline. Okay, now we have another property called align content in the CSS Flexbox. Okay, this property controls how multiple row of flex item are aligned along the cross axis, usually vertically. Okay, but here something very important. Align content only works when you have multiple row of item. Okay, and flex rack must be used. Okay, and container has extra space along the cross axis. Okay, so let's check this out step by step. Okay, so before this we will have to update our HTML little bit, like add here div class row and add 4 item in a row. Okay, another div class row, add another 4 and another row class row, and just add, you can add 5. Okay, so this is how it's working. Okay, let's add here. Actually it's showing like this because we have added under a row and we have not written any CSS for the row. So let's write CSS display flags. Okay, now it's showing in one row. Let's remove some elements from this so it looks nice for you. Okay, now we will explore all the CSS property of aligned content. Okay, so Let's fix height of container. So height of container should be 800 pixel or maybe 700 pixel. So height is done. Now first property is like align content flex start. Okay, by default we use flex content align content flex start. The row of the item are packed at the top of the container. Okay, so let me show you align content flex start. Okay, so all row are packed to the top of the container. Okay, so these are all. First of all, remember we can use align content for row only. Okay, so we have already written in a row format. See, so in first row we have 4 elements, second we have 4, and third we have 4 elements. So it's behaving like four row. Okay, so we can use uh, align content CSS property for the row. Okay, so first one is done, and second flex end. Okay, so if we change it to flex end, then row move to the bottom of the container. Okay, flex end. See, so 3 row move to the bottom of the container, as we have only 3 row for now. Okay, 1 2 3. Now center. With center, the row are grouped together and placed in the middle vertically. Okay, so if we add here center, so all row grouped together and placed in the middle, vertically middle. Okay, so see container, this is our container, and all 3 row are vertically aligned center middle. Okay, now we have space between. Okay, so let's add here space between, and show you. Let me show you a demo. See, so using space between, the first row is placed at the top and last row at the bottom. Okay, and remaining row are spread out with equal gaps in between. Okay, so let me add one row so it will be more clear to you. Just copy paste this and remove. So let's add only 2 items in the last row. See, so last row sit to the bottom of the container and first row to the top of the container, and other remaining 2 row are spread out with equal gap in between. Okay, so this is a use of space between. Okay, now next is space around. Okay, just type here space around. So space around, add equal space around each row. Okay, this means half space at the edge and full space between row. Okay, see, so this is use of space around. And last is, I think, yeah, it's last, stretch. Okay, so just add here stretch. So stretch is default. Okay, here row stretch is take up all available vertical space inside the container. Okay, so let me show you. See, it's stretch and take all available vertical space. Okay, so it's cover all space. So this is how line content stretch is working. Okay, so that's how a line content works in a CSS flex box. Okay, next is gap. Okay, space between items. Okay, gap meaning space between items. So instead of using margin padding, Flexbox support gap. Okay, so let me mm, let me change layout. So just comment all row and copy boxes. For now, let's add only let's add 4. So okay, so we have 8 boxes inside container. Okay, now we will update CSS. Let's remove this now. Okay, and add here gap 20 pixel. So gap property in a Flexbox, this property used to create space between flex item. Okay, without using margin, it takes layout cleaner, easier to manage. So let's see in uh, code. Okay, so this is a gap 20 pixel. Let's refresh the browser. Sorry, there is a code mistake, I think. Where here is a code mistake. Okay, let's remove this, and I think add here. Oh, yes, I think it's fixed. Yeah, so see here, it's added 20 pixel gap to the each element. Okay, so by default there is no space between the item. So if we remove gap, comment it out. So see, by default there is no space between the item, but if I add gap 20 pixel, it will create 20 pixels of space between term. Okay, so both row and column gap when wrapping. Okay, so we can also control row and column gap separately. For example, let's give row 30 pixel and column 10 pixel. Okay, so let's add here. uh, Let me show you. Okay, so let me show you first column. Okay, so column gap 30 pixel. Okay, so this is a column gap. Okay, it's showing 30 pixel. Okay, and yes. Okay, and row gap 20 pixel. Okay, so row gap is 20 pixel. So we can also control row and column gap separately. Okay, yeah, that's it. I think before we use margin to create spacing. Okay, but margin only push item in one direction. With gap, the spacing is cleaner, consistent, and doesn't add extra space outside the container. So that's why gap is cool features of the CSS Flexbox. Okay, next we will explore order. This property allows us to rearrange the order of the flex item without changing the actual HTML structure. Okay, so let me show you how it works with example. Okay, so let's update. We have it. Okay, so in a CSS, let me add class to the each item. Okay, so box 1, box 2, box 3, box 3, box 4, box 5. Okay, let's comment out 3. If you want, okay, now if you want box 1 add to the fourth number, so let's add order. Okay, so let's add class box 1 order 4. See, but box first is shift to last. Okay, on the fourth position. So this is how we can change the element order. Okay, and same box 2 order 3. See, it's changed. Okay, so this is how order works in a Flexbox. Okay, so we can change without touching our elements without touching these elements. Okay, so this is a very important part. Now we have another property called flex grow in a CSS Flexbox. Okay, so this property control how much a flex item can expand to fill available space inside the container. So let's see in a code. Okay, so we have already four items in our HTML. So let me show you. So this is a four element, and we have already class box one. So let's add flex grow 2. Okay, 2. Okay, so see it's increase width of the flex box flex elements. Okay, so we can do same like this, box 2 flex grow 3 by 3. So let's add 5 4 maybe. So let's add 6 so it will be more clear. See, so we can use flex grow to increase the elements. To expand, we can use grow property to, expand to fill the available space inside the container. Okay, now next is, okay, we have another property called flag shrink. Okay, so when space is tight, flag shrink decide how much item shrink. Okay, so for example, we have four element right now. So let's fix the width, like flag basic flag basic 200. So this is the initial width of the boxes. Okay, so initial width of the boxes, these boxes. Okay, so 200 pixel will be fixed. Okay, meaning we can't change, we can't shrink below 200. Okay, so let's add here. So let's add class here, box one. So flag shrink 1, and for 2 flag shrink 0. Okay, so this means box 2 will never shrink their their basic width of the boxes. Okay, so let me show you inspector. So it helps when we make responsive elements. Okay, so let me remove. Okay, see, so we have added here flag shrink 1. Okay, so this is the default flag shrink is default for the flags box elements. Okay, so if we add flag shrink 0, then it will never shrink to the never shrink to the fixed width. Okay, like if you fix 200 pixel, then it will never shrink below the 200 pixel. Okay, so this is the example of shrink. See, other elements is all automatically manage their width and shrinking, but second is not shrinking, it's fixed width. Okay, we have, if we add here 1, then it will automatically shrink. Okay, so this is the use of flag shrink. Okay, next is a flex basic all already updated here. So flex basic set the initial size of the of an item before growing shrink apply. Okay, so this is a flex box, flex basic. It decides the initial width of the uh, box item. Okay, so there is a shorthand we can use, like we can use shorthand code, like just comment it out here. So refresh it, flex basic 200. So we can add flex, this is called shorthand 1 and 250 pixels. Okay, so meaning 250 pixels is a basic width Okay, so 250 is the initial size of the item, and one one and one is first one. This one show the grow, and this one show shrink. So both are the default. Okay, so let me show you how it's showing. Okay, so see, so item width is showing 301.5 pixels. Okay, so if go there, see, it's automatically manage the elements. Okay, so if we add here flag shrink, uh, 0, sorry, grow 0 and shrink 0, then it will keep their element size uh, to the fix 250 pixels. Okay, so like, see here, so this is the example of flex basic, grow and shrink. Okay, so if you add here 1 and 200 pixel, then it will automatically adjust to the container with equal size. Okay, so this is how flex shrink, grow and flex basics works. Okay, so this is a shorthand code to writing flex basic, flex shrink and flex grow. Okay, now we have last Flexbox property called align self per item alignment. Okay, so we can override alignment for individual item. Okay, so align self in the in CSS Flexbox. You already know align items control vertical alignment of all flex item together. Okay, but what if we want to align just one item differently? Okay, that's where we use align self. Okay, it only affect cross axis. Okay, alignment vertical if flex direction row and horizontally if flex direction column. Okay, so container must have some height wrapping so that cross axis alignment can actually be visible. Okay, so let me show you in code editor. Okay, so it will be more clear to you. Okay, so we have 4 element, each element had different class, box 1, box 2, box 3. Okay, so let's add here fixed height. Let's enable fixed height. Okay, let's add height here, height 500 pixel, and align item center. Okay, so let me show you how it's showing. Okay, so it's showing align item center. Okay, vertically center. Now in a in a box. Okay, so let's remove this. Let's keep this actually. Okay, now for the box 1, align self, sorry, align self. Okay, so this one showing from the starting. Okay, so first box has align self flex start, so it goes to the top. Okay, now second, align self flex end. Okay, okay, so second goes to end. Okay, so second box has a line flex end, so it dropped to the bottom. Okay, so this is how align self works. Okay, now we will make practice and make some navbar and card grid. Okay, and sticky footer. Okay, so let me create another file for it. So create here practice.html. So let's run it here, practice demo, and name here, run it demo.html. Okay, so just copy it. So in demo HTML5, first of all we will create navbar. Okay, so h1 heading navbar. I will use same CSS. Okay, so we will write from here demo never, and here name, class never, never, div, logo, class logo. Okay, and here ul like home, about, contact, class here, menu, and that's it. Let's add css. Never dot never, add your display flags. Actually, let's write in another file, so it will be more clear to you. So let's create style 2. Okay, edit here, name, and just remove all the other css, and we will create header, footer, and content. Let me update structure here. So div class header, div class content, and here footer. Okay, so this is a footer, this is a header, this is the main content area. Let's put never in a header. Let me show you how it's showing currently. So it's showing like this. Okay, now we will add css. Let's link here to close this, display flags. Okay, now let's add here dot menu, display flags, gap 20 pixel, list style none. Let's see how it's saying. Okay, now dot menu li color, you can choose brown, sorry, brown, font size 15 pixel, for same. Okay, and never. Now we will add here to fix alignment. Okay, so let's add here 18 pixel maybe. Okay, now add here justify content center, justify content space between. Okay, and align items center, background color, padding you can add 20 pixels, and left right 100 pixels. Now see how it's working. Now let me change the color of this, add hashtag ff. So ff is a white color. Okay, and the logo color maybe add here, color should be maybe orange, yellow. Okay, so see how it's working. Okay, logo is left and menu is right with just few line of code. Okay, so this is the beauty of Flexbox. Now next, let's create grid. Okay, so we will create grid under main content area. So let's add main content, padding 40 pixels and left right 100 pixels. So this is our main content. We will create grid here. So div class, you can add grid here, and then div class card. Okay, now we will write CSS for it. Just write 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 3 4 and 5. So right here CSS for it. Dot grid display flags and flags wrap. Okay, and we will add gap here 30 pixels. Now on card, add background color. You can add brown, padding maybe 20 pixel, font size 20 pixel, color should be white. So let me show you how it's working. Okay, let's add here flags. This is a shorthand flags, grow, shrink, and flex basic initial width of elements. You can add to 40 pixel. No, let's reduce it so it will fix in one row 200 maybe. No, 100 pixels. Okay, so it looks nice. So flex wrap, if we remove flex wrap, it will not, it will no, sorry, let's add here 300 pixels so clear to you. So see, two elements move to the next line. If we remove flex wrap, then it will be in same row, because and automatically adjust width of the boxes because of this flex 110. If we add here 0, then it will keep the width, it will keep the flex basic width of 300 pixel. Okay, and see it's showing overflow, so we will add here 1. Okay, okay, so if you want to keep 300 pixel, and then add here flex wrap. Okay, it will move to the next. Okay, and add here 0 0, then it will be fix the width of elements. Okay, and automatically move to the down if we don't have much space on the right side. Okay, so this is use of flex wrap. Okay, if you add here 1 and 1 flags grow and shrink, then it automatically manage width of the each element according to container. Okay, and this is how it's look like. Okay, now next, so we have done menu and grid system. Now let's add footer CSS. Okay, so footer, let's add here background color, background, sorry, black, and color should be white. See how it's showing, padding at 20 pixel. Okay, so done. So we have covered navbar grid system. Now let's fix footer to the bottom. So what we will do to fix footer in the bottom, we will write here, let's add here container uh, container and add all elements under container. Okay, so here is a container. Now go to CSS, add here container dot container display flex direction column min height 100% view height. Okay, and for content flex 1, and that's it. We have fixed the footer to the bottom. Okay, so this is how we can make sticky footer using Flexbox. Okay, let's add a small html and on body add here height 100%. Okay, to remove this margin padding, add here margin 0, and that's it. We have covered 3 projects like Navar, grid and sticky footer, and that's every single property in a Flexbox explained with demo and mini project. Okay, Navar, grid and sticky footer. Thank you for watching. If this helped, hit like, drop comment and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.